Hey everyone, and welcome back to another edition of NASCAR DFS Preview. I'm Austin from the Sports Chief. So we're going to come at you here with our picks for the Richmond International Raceway event the event's called Federated Auto Parts 400 up in Richmond, Virginia. So this will be a playoff race. Of course, you have your 16 drivers that made it's not called the chase anymore, but the NASCAR playoffs. It's already a very fun track to watch as far as racing goes. It kind of gives you that local short track vibe. It also is pretty difficult to pass here, so you've really got to maneuver yourself in the right positions. It's going to be a different event than in the past because in the past it's normally been a race to try to get in the playoffs, where now it is actually the first race of the playoffs. Not sure how that's going to really change the way the drivers take the event. Probably not much different, but it is going to be interesting to see, who the fast cars are going to be. You have a couple of your drivers that are normally good here, so anyways, let's just go ahead and jump straight into it. So I'll give you my rundown of my lineup, or the Sports Chiefs lineup. So let's check it out here. So, and as you can see, I'm doing a double up, but that's just an example there. If I was looking at this here, DraftKings has offered us Kyle Busch starting in fourth at $12K, which is pretty expensive. He's been that before. Obviously, he was that high at Bristol. But Kyle Busch is, of course, the cream of the crop as far as that goes. Kevin Harvick starting in second at 11.5. Martin Truex Jr. starting in eighth at 11.1. Denny Hamlin at 10.6. And Joey Logano at 10.2. So that rounds out the 10K guys, with Brad Keselowski starting on the pole at 9.8. So we have a little less guys 10K plus as far as your salary goes. The salary is a little more evened out, especially with the playoffs. That's kind of put into the equation for the salary that DraftKings is giving us. If you're looking at this here, making my lineup, I always like to do a little research as far as the average finishes and things like that go, laps led, because that's very important while making your lineup. Kyle Busch is starting in fourth, and Kyle Busch actually has an average finish of seventh here at Richmond, which is amazing, being that he's ran full time since 04, 05, somewhere in that range. So he's just been very competitive at Richmond. He's also like a 3-1 favorite to win the race. Not a bad choice if you were to go with Kyle Busch. I don't think you can go wrong with that. He's especially heated, being that he finished 18th last week. So this is actually the second race in the playoffs. I'm sorry. So I know Vegas, but yeah. Look for him to compete. Kevin Harvick's always a guy I like to pick at Richmond. Probably not going that route today, being he's starting in second. His car was fast, but not fast enough to warrant my interest. One guy that I saw that was very fast in practice, and a guy that I'm going to go with first pick, is Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin is actually my choice to win the championship this year. I think he's just driving. What's the way I want to put this? He's not driving over his head, but he's driving better than he ever has at this point. Starting in sixth, this is his bread and butter track. He's from Virginia. It's kind of a home track. He's also got an average finish here of 9.4, which is second in the whole field as far as finishes go. He was also very fast in the second practice. As far as lap averages, he was the fastest in 5, 10, 15, 20, and 30 lap runs. So really like Denny Hamlin a lot. I think he will get to the front pretty quick, and he'll lead a lot of laps tonight. Joey Logano is my second choice, and I know I'm going here with another 10K guy, but Joey Logano is starting in 28th. If there's any way possible, which I believe I can, get two of these guys that are 10K in my lineup, these are the two that I want. Joey Logano is actually, he's got an average finish of 11th here. He's also like an 8.5 to 1 favorite to win, but he was pretty quick in long run speeds as far as that goes in the practices. He was around top 5, so if he can even get a top 10, that's just well worth the money there. I know a lot of people are going to be chalk on Kyle Larson starting in 13th, and arguably so. I just think that Joey Logano, he's already got, if he gets up to where Larson starts, that's 15 spots higher, so that's pretty crazy. And I'm going to go that route today. So looking there, yeah, our average salary is 7.3, so we're going to have to look towards the bottom here to get some picks going here. And, Boyd, Terrio, Huff, Sorensen, Yaley, Castle, those guys are probably not going to be on the track, and passing many cars. David Reagan, I believe, will be pretty chalky today at 27, and, arguably so. He'd get a top 20. Corey LaJoy, maybe, and Ross Chastain in 32nd, maybe. But my guy, actually, that I'm going with is Ty Dillon. He's starting in 31st. Ty wasn't insanely fast. He's a top 25 car, though, so I feel pretty comfortable that if he stays out on the track and nothing else happens in this race that warrants, engine failure, some kind of parts failure, I think he's got enough speed to get a top 25. And at that price, that's really all I need. And he's a decent short track driver, so I really like Ty Dillon there at that spot. So that's what I'm going with, and that actually helps our salary out a lot at 7.6. And one guy that I really want to go with this week is Ryan Newman. He's starting in 19th spot, which he normally starts a little lower than that, but I believe Ryan Newman's going to get a top 10 today. He was right there with Denny Hamlin and those guys in long run speeds. Really like Ryan Newman. And, hey, if you want to go William Byron, you can go that route too. Starting in 25th, that's very attractive as far as his starting spot goes. And Byron's actually a decent driver here, but Ryan Newman, his average finish here is, like 12th or 13th, which is pretty crazy. He's also been running since, 02 or 3? I mean, that's a long sample size or big sample size. So I really like his shot of getting a top 10. He's got a pretty bad, fast car this week with the Roush Fenway guys. So now we're at 7,500, which makes it a little more difficult. But as I'm looking up here, as you can see, I got Chase Elliott. I don't really want to pay up for Larson because if I do, I could go David Reagan. Hey, that's not a bad option. You go Larson and Reagan. You could also, I don't think Brad Keselowski's really worth, going up that high, and Chase Elliott. But one guy that I really like, and I'm looking at long run speeds, I'm expecting the worst as far as that goes. I'm thinking that it's going to be a long run race. Hopefully not a lot of wrecks. And a guy I'm going with is Ryan Blaney starting in 15th. He's 2 spots behind Kyle Larson, and his speeds looked better in the second practice. Ryan Blaney was right behind Denny Hamlin as far as speeds go in the long run. So really like Ryan Blaney. I think I've got 4 drivers there that could get a top 5. And heck, if Ryan Newman won the race, that'd be great. But that'd probably be a long shot. I think Blaney, Logano, or Hamlin could win this race. And again, like I said, I'm going the Ryan Blaney route, and one guy that I'm going with, and I might be a little partial, but going with Daniel Hemrick, starting 22nd spot. He was just announced that he lost his ride for next year in the 8 car, and Tyler Reddick's going to take it over. Hemrick is a guy, hey, he's a rookie. I don't know that car is that great, but, I really like him to come out with a little extra edge. He's racing for a ride and a job, so he's a great short track racer. 90-1 odds. Hey, if you're in a place where you can put a bet on a sports book or whatever, I would do a little bit on Daniel Hemrick. I think he could be contending actually. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and clean it up here. Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, and hey, remember I said you could go Larson or Reagan. That's not a bad option. Not a bad one at all. One that I'm okay with. But today I'm going to be going with Ryan Blaney, Ryan Newman. Scroll down here, Ty Dillon. What just happened? Sorry about that. Ty Dillon and then Daniel Hemrick. So the reason being I'm going with the Hemrick-Blaney combos because I think Hemrick has a better shot of winning the race than David Reagan. Albeit it might not be a lot, but all right. So there you go. You can read it there. Denny Hamlin, Logano, Blaney, Newman, Dillon, and Hemrick. So that's what the Sports Chief is rolling out here. Definitely picking guys that are starting towards the back of the field, and I went with Hemrick over Reagan because of the percentage-wise. I think it's just going to be a big difference. And I've already got Joey Logano there in 28, and he's going to be very chalky. I understand that. I think he's a guy you've got to pick. Starting in 28th, he's just too good here at Richmond. So that's what the Sports Chief is rolling out here. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, hit us up at the Sports Chief on Twitter. Or you can make a comment here on YouTube. We try to be pretty quick about responding about stuff there. So if you have any questions about any kind of strategies you got going on there. So That is our NASCAR DFS preview show for the week at Richmond International Raceway, the Federated Auto Parts 400. Hope you have a good race weekend and enjoy it.